Hi there, this is a video series of Google Calendar API integration. In this video, we are going to see how to create event in the Google Calendar. In the last video, we have seen how to replace the access token and how to revoke it. If you haven't watched that video yet, the link is in the description, please go and check out. For this video, we will walk through the API documentation, then quickly jump into the code. Before we start the video, I would like to request you to watch the video completely so that you won't be getting any type of error while creating the event. So let's get started. To create event in the Google Calendar using Google Calendar API, we have to make the post request to the event API endpoint. In this event API endpoint, we have to pass calendar ID in the path parameter. If we don't have the calendar ID, we can use primary as the calendar ID, because if you pass primary as the calendar ID, then the event will be created in our primary calendar. So there are also some query parameters which are optional. So you can go through the query parameters and try them by your own. To create event, we need following scopes. One is auth/calendar, other is auth/calendar.events. In the request body, we have to pass an object with the following properties: the start time, the end time, which are the required properties, and other optional properties are anyone can add self, attachments, color ID, conference data, description, and extended properties, and so on. So here we can see for the start and end, it's a nested object. So what exactly the end object model contains? So here we can see it contains date, which is of this format, and it is passed only when the event is for all day. And we have to pass date time, which is of format RFC 3339, and we have to pass time zone if it is not explicitly passed in time zone. So similar is the case for the start. So start is the start date and time. So the start object contain date, which we have to pass if the event is all day event, and the date time, which will be again of format RFC 3339, and we have to specify time zone until and unless it is explicitly provided in the time zone. So we have the summary, which is title of the event, and also we have the description. So these are the simple properties which we can use to create a simple event in the Google Calendar. So to see how we can make the post request using HTTP, I will show you a way. So let's click on try it and expand it. So here we can see HTTP. In this we can see now we have to make the post request to the calendar API endpoint, and here we can see we have to pass the key and our API key. So how to generate the API key? Where is our API key? I will show you in this video how we can generate the API key. And in the header, we have to pass authorization as the key, and the value will be bearer and access token separated by space. Other key will be accept, and its value will be application/JSON. And the other key will be content type, whose value will be application/JSON. And this is a simple model which we have to pass to make the post request. So first, let's see how to get API key. So let's open the console.cloud.com. So from this, navigate to API and services, and then go to credentials. So at the top we can see create credentials. So here we get option of API key. So we can generate our API key from here. So it shows creating our API key. Our API key is ready now. We can copy and we can use it. So one more thing, we can restrict our API key for specific APIs. Like I can just restrict it so that my Google Calendar API will be using this API key, or my Google Map will be using this API key, so I can restrict that way. So as I have already created one and I am using this as my API key, and I have restricted, I will show you, I have restricted it only for my Google Calendar API. So here we can see I have selected one, that is Google Calendar API. So this is how we generate our API key, and we will be using this API key while making the post request. So let's jump into the code. So this is the continuous video of this series, so please go and check out the previous videos to understand the code flow properly. So in the models, I have added a model called event, and in this we have the summary, the description, the start and the end. So this denotes the start date and time and end date and time of the event. So which is again a complex object having date, time and time zone. Now in the view, I have added a simple form having the summary, the description, the start date and time and the end date and time. So once we submit the form, it will navigate us to the create event action in the calendar event controller. So in the calendar event controller, we have create action, and here in the parameter we are getting the calendar event. So in this action we are reading the tokens from the token file. I'm converting the datetime into a specific format, that is RFC 3339. So here this is a format of the RFC 3339, and then I am converting my model to the JSON string, and I'm making sure that in which I am passing JSON serializer settings, which will convert the model into camel case. So in the request, I'm adding query parameter, the key whose value is the API key which we generated right now. So in the header, I am passing the authorization whose value is bearer and access token separated with space. Other header is accept whose value is application/JSON, and the other header is content type whose value is application/JSON. Now in the parameter, I am adding the event model which we converted into JSON string in the request body. Now I am making the post request, and once the post request is successful, we will be getting the status code as OK in the response. So once the status code is OK, we are redirecting back to the home page with the success as the status in the query parameter. So we will see right now how it will work, and if the status code is not OK, then we will navigate it to the error page. So let's run and see how our UI will look like. So our application is running now, and this is a simple form which we created where we have summary, description, start date time and end date time. So before we create a event, we have to refresh our token, because the token we refreshed last time is already expired. So let's refresh the token first. So now we can see the token has been refreshed. Now we can create our event. I'll be keeping as test summary, and for the date I'm keeping today's date, which is 6 February 2021, and time. So I'll be creating for 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So before we create event, let's see how many events are there in my Google Calendar. So if I refresh, we can see there is no event in my Google Calendar on 6 February. So let's create now. So here we can see our status code is OK. That means the event has been created, and now in the URL we can see status as success. So let's refresh and check either our event is created or not. So here we can see it's created for 3:15 to 4:15. Why is it? Because here we can see my calendar is in GMT plus 5:45, but I am creating event for the time zone of Asia/Kolkata, so which is GMT 5:30. That's why we got 15-minute difference in my calendar. So here we can see this is the title, test summary, and this is the description. So here we can see the event has been created. Let's create one more event and check. So I'll be creating it for the 5th February 2021, and I'll be creating it for 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Now we can see we got the status code as okay. It means our event is created. So yeah, so we can see from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. we have a event created with Google Calendar API, and the description is Google Calendar API test which we have given. So in this, the thing that is to be noted is we have to pass the date time in this specific format so that you won't be getting any type of error while making the post request. So that is it for the video, guys. If you have any doubt, please do let me know in the comment section. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.